Hello everyone, today I'm talking about the score for the 1972 English horror film Deathline, or as it's called in the US for some reason, Raw Meat, by composers Will Malone and Jeremy Rose. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I'm hoping I can do it a little bit more regularly at least. The film starts off with a montage almost of these blurred, sultry neon images with this opening track playing over top. Take a listen. Now, far and away, my favorite part of the movie, and honestly one of my favorite opening tracks in film music. And it's so cool and draws this line between classy and sleazy. It made me really think that the film was going to have an erotic element to it. I knew it was a cannibal film going in, so I thought there was going to be some sort of cannibal eroticism to it. That'd be this really bizarre, cool genre mashup. Problem being, that opening track with its just oozing coolness and the idea of some sort of like lounging high society feel has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It creates these expectations, and I don't think it's quite intentional, that are then never met. Most of the rest of the score is pretty incidental music. Some of it is really just setting a mood for a horror film, just standard stuff. And some of it is bizarrely experimental, chaotic music that is mostly in the action sequences, which tend to be quite poorly choreographed and of low quality. I'm quite surprised to see a lot of other commentators speak highly of the rest of this music, because it's not very good. The incidental parts are, at best, functional, but especially getting to these experimental moments, they're really jarring and they detract from the film a lot. What it does is, it has no rhythm or flow or real connection with the film at all, and so it seems as if you're watching one film and listening to the music of something completely different. It feels like it's experimentation just for experimentation's sake. And I do appreciate that at times, because if no one experimented, music would be really boring. But it just doesn't work here. And it's a shame, though, because there are interesting elements, not just in that opening song, but neither composer would, to my knowledge, ever work in film again. I think Will Malone scored one other film about 30 or 40 years later, but that was it. And not surprisingly, he ended up having a really successful career as a more pop-oriented arranger and orchestrator, working with groups like Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Depeche Mode, and Kylie Minogue. And I think some of that makes sense, given how strong the opening track is, because it's so much more structured as a song, rather than as what would be film music. So, at the end of the day, Deathline is really notable for that opening song. And despite the fact that it has nothing to do with the movie and doesn't fit at all, it's just really cool. And it has interesting ideas throughout the rest, they just never quite work. But I'd still recommend checking it out. I know you can find the full track all over YouTube, and the film itself is on Criterion and the Criterion channel. It's still an interesting film, especially the scenes with Donald Pleasance, and the one scene that he shares with Christopher Lee, definitely the highlights. Now, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll do a few more in the future. And in the meantime, let me know if there's any other film scores you'd be interested in hearing me talk about.